Tonight, Minnesota is playing at California. Just about ready to go. Craig Swan to pitch to Tim Raines, and here is Bob Murphy.
Thank you very much, Steve Lamar, and hi, everybody. Switch hitter Tim Raines will bat left against Craig Swan. Here is the first pitch of the afternoon. It is high and tight, 1 ball and no strikes. For Swan, his second start. He started last Monday at Wrigley Field. He suffered through 1 bad inning. Otherwise, it was a good outing. And a fastball high, 2 balls and no strikes. On the infield for New York, Dave Kingman playing first. Bobby Baylor is at second. Tom Bereiser is first start at short. And Hubie Brooks is playing third. 2-0 delivery, wide ball 3. It goes without saying that Tim Raines is a man you do not want to walk. And Swan quickly has gotten behind him 3-0. Here's the 3-0 delivery. He swings at 3-0. Boy, is that a surprise. And he fouls it back on the screen. Here's the young man who is probably the best base stealer in the game right now, and he swings at 3-0. Last year, the shortened season, Tim Raines had 71 stolen bases. 3-1 delivery, high, ball 4. He's on. Any time that he gets on, you can pretty well figure he will be going. So a test now for Swan and John Stearns. Craig has that big motion, and it's hard for him to hold a runner real close. In the outfield for New York, George Foster in left, Mookie Wilson in center, and Ellis Valentine is in right. The catcher is John Stearns, and now the batter is Rodney Scott. Rodney starting this afternoon. He's been used in the late innings so far this season. Swan working from the stretch, and the pitch is over, a strike called. Raines bluffed, but did not go. Andre Dawson is on deck, and then Al Oliver. In last night's game, Montreal got a run in the first inning on a triple by Tim Raines. He scored on a groundout. For the first, it is not in time. Mets got a run in the first, tied the game. Montreal went ahead 3-1 on Cromartie's 2-run homer. Foster's timely hit tied it up later. There he goes. Here's the throw by John Stearns. They may get him. He's out. Raines is caught stealing. Beautiful throw by John Stearns. Oh, what a play. Tim Raines, who's rarely ever thrown out, but a bullet throw by John Stearns, and Bobby and Tom Bereiser slapped the tag on him.
Boy, that was a textbook throw, wasn't it? I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better throw from a catcher than what Stearns gave you right there.
Stearns is throwing beautifully. Now the pitch on the way. And a ground ball hit right at second baseman Bob Baylor. He throws to Kingman, and Scott is out, 2 down. Your chances of throwing out Tim Raines are usually just not good at all. He will steal about 90 to 95% of the time. He has a little more going for him in Montreal, where the game is played on AstroTurf. Here, the game is played on natural grass and dirt. And I'll always think that's the way this game should be played. 2 outs and nobody on. Andre Dawson is the batter. The hard-hitting center fielder had 1 for 3 in last night's Montreal 4-3 victory. Here's the pitch by Swan, just off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 delivery, and a breaking ball that is low, 2 balls and no strikes. We'll keep you up to date as Major League Baseball games are being played around the country this afternoon. The big story, of course, being written by Joe Torre's Atlanta Braves. They are playing tonight in the Astrodome. Nolan Ryan is already 0-3. Towering fly ball hit the center field. Mookie flips the glasses, comes jogging in, makes the catch, and the side retires. The wind was bringing that back toward the infield. No runs, no hits, nobody left. An exciting opening half inning. In the middle of inning 1 at Shea Stadium, Montreal nothing, and the New York Mets are coming to bat.
Relax in the stimulating warmth and massage of wooden tubs in the privacy of your own backyard or spare room for just $17.95. Windward Pools, the area's leading supplier of saunas, spas, and hot tubs, offers a distinctive new line of redwood tubs, including a 4-foot model large enough to accommodate 4 people, complete with all accessories for just $1,795, a savings of $800. That's Windward Pools, 1730 Chrysler Avenue, Schenectady. Honda made it simple, and Mohawk Honda in Schenectady will make it easy for you to own a new '82 Honda. You'll get a car price to match your budget, and then Mohawk Honda's computer diagnostics will help you keep your new Honda in top shape. If it's a used car, Mohawk Honda has a supply of pre-owned Hondas from steady customers who like to trade up. So come drive a fuel-efficient Honda soon. The selection has never been better at Mohawk Honda, 756 State Street, Schenectady.
Top of the first inning against Craig Swan. Boy, what a great throw by John Stearns as he nailed Tim Raines trying to steal. Raines was thrown out only 11 times last year in 82 stolen base attempts. He stole 71 a year ago for Montreal, but Stearns gunned him down in the top of the first. Mets coming to bat in the bottom of the first, and again, here's Bob Murphy.
It's amazing when you realize the broken finger that Stearns had to recover from. Last year when the season opened, he was going to play third base because the finger had just not mended enough. Then he turned his ankle running in the outfield just before the opener, so Hubie Brooks opened to third, and look what Hubie has done. By the time Stearns was ready to return to action, he went behind the plate. The finger was better, and now he is throwing as well as he has ever thrown. Mookie Wilson will lead off against 31-year-old Ray Burris. Burris is pitching the finest baseball of his career right now. He lost his first start this year to Mike Krukow, 1-0. The only run of that game was unearned. Ray Burris, 6'5" right-hander out of Idabel, Oklahoma. And Mookie Wilson standing in. Mookie hitting at 325. And a breaking ball over, a strike call. Burris was sensational in postseason play last year. Expos had lost 10 straight at Dodger Stadium. Fouled out of play. The Dodgers had taken the first game of the League Championship Series. And then Ray Burris shut out and beat Fernando Valenzuela with the Expos winning 3-0. And the fifth and final game, again he hooked up with Fernando Valenzuela, and he matched him 1-1 through 8 innings before he left the game and was not involved in the decision with the Dodgers winning it to go on to the World Series. Here's the pitch thrown by Burris and a fastball inside crowding the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The plate umpire today is Jerry Dale. Inside and low. Mookie hitting 325, and Mookie has stolen 7 out of 9. Lonnie Smith of the Cardinals, the league leader, with 1 more. Nobody on, nobody out. Last of the first inning. Here's the pitch on the way, and a drive toward the gap in left center field, dropping in, base hit. It is run down by the left fielder, Tim Raines, and Mookie Wilson is on with a single to left center. Now the crowd will start to chant Mookie, Mookie, encouraging him to try and steal a base. Bob Baylor is an ideal number 2 hitter. This seasoned pro, wise about the game of baseball, knows how to protect a base stealer like Mookie Wilson. And that is so terribly important. George Foster on deck, and then Dave Kingman. And in Gary Carter, Montreal has one of the finest throwing catchers in the game, just as the Mets do in John Stearns. Throw to first by Ray Burris, just lobbing the ball over to Al Oliver. Al Oliver, the 13-year vet acquired from the Rangers, playing first base. Rodney Scott, a slick fielder, at second. Chris Fire at short. And rookie Brad Mills is playing third. Mills getting his first start this year. Tim Raines in left field. Andre Dawson in center. And Warren Cromartie is around and right. Ray Burris makes the 1-second stop. There goes Mookie, a pitch out. Here's the throw to second. They won't get him. Stolen base. Ball goes into center field. Here's the throw to third. They might get him at third. And the ball is wide at third base. Backed up by Ray Burris, or a run would have scored. Mookie winds up on third. A hurried throw by Gary Carter. He called for a pitch out. It looked like he would nail him dead to right, but he made a high throw. It went into center field. And then when Mookie had to scramble to his feet and take off for third, Dawson's throw to third had a great chance, Steve, but it also was wide of the mark, and had it not been for Ray Burris, a run would have scored.
Exactly right. Burris doing exactly what he should do, got over behind third base and backed it up. Interesting play, because even with a catcher with a great throwing arm like Carter, and when he calls for the pitch out, when the runner has the speed of a Mookie Wilson or a Tim Raines, he still has to hurry that throw to second base, and in this case, threw it out into center field.
Stolen base for Mookie, his 8th of the year, an error charged to Gary Carter, allowing him to go to third. Dawson would have drawn error had he come in to score. Now Bobby Baylor fouls it back into the crowd and out of play. So the Mets have Mookie on third with nobody out. He is the catalyst. He makes things happen. It is so exciting when Mookie is on base. Ray Burris getting his information now from Gary Carter. Expos have the infield back in the first inning, and a foul ball back into the crowd and out of play. Mets played the same way last night. Tim Raines opened with a triple, so the Mets played the infield back to get the sure out and try to head off the threat of a big inning. Anytime you bring that infield in, you give the advantage to the hitter. Ray Burris with a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes to Baylor. Now the pitch. And a soft bloop out into short center field, dropping a base hit. Mets will lead 1-0. Bobby Baylor takes a wide turn. He's on his first base. Baylor lunged for a breaking ball. He hit it down off the end of the bat and just blooped one out over second, just beyond the reach of shortstop Spire. It landed in short center field. It looked like a line drive in the box score.
That it did. And Bobby Baylor now has 4 RBIs on 7 base hits this year.
Mets lead 1-0. Here's George Foster. George now with 7 RBIs in his first 9 games. Had a timely hit last night, driving 2 runs in. At the time, the Mets were down 3-1. George's base hit evened the game at 3. So Ray Burris, who did not give up an earned run in his first start against the Phillies, a run is scored here in the first with nobody out. Burris working from the stretch. The pitch to Foster. Breaking ball, low outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Beautiful day for baseball. A lot of blue sky to be seen right now. And the temperature around 70 degrees. Al Oliver holding against Baylor, who has a very good lead right now. He's leaning the wrong way. He's going to draw a throw here in a moment. Now the pitch. It is high to George Foster. 2 balls and no strikes. George says he feels very comfortable in his new surroundings. He's delighted to be wearing a Mets uniform, and he said he was really moved by the marvelous reception the Mets fans gave him on opening day here at Shea. 2-0 delivery, a strike call to the outside corner. Burris is not an overpowering type pitcher. He has an excellent slider and a good curve, and he'll work the corners. And he probably works as hard in pitching a ball game as anybody you've ever watched. He really goes after it. Throw to first. Again, just lobbed over. Ray Burris has made a marvelous comeback. It looked like his career was about over. And suddenly, through hard work and applying some new techniques, he turned himself back into a winning pitcher again. When he was with the Mets, it looked like his days as a successful starting pitcher were about over. Mets tried to sign him and offered him quite a bit of money. He was a free agent and went to Montreal. Up high, ball 3, 3-1. And I think Burris surprised just about everybody by doing so well. Maybe Galen Cisco, the pitching coach of the Expos, deserves some credit. 3-1 to George Foster. A run is in, nobody out. Mets lead 1-0. There goes Bobby Baylor. The pitch, a swing and a miss. The throw to second base, stolen base. Another high throw by Gary Carter. Second baseman Rodney Scott had to leap as high as he could to keep the throw from going into center field. And George Bamberger has this ball club on the run.
Does he ever? Same story as last night as Mookie got on in the bottom of the first, stole second, scored on a single by Backman, who then stole second. Same story today. Mookie singles, steals second. Baylor singles, steals second.
So Baylor on second base, the count 3-2 to George Foster. And Burris will step off. Dave Kingman is waiting on deck. The Mets have a run home to lead 1-0. We're in the last of inning 1. Rodney Scott shaded toward the middle against the pull hitter Foster. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Burris with a good hard slider on the outside corner strikes out George Foster, and here's Dave Kingman. Kingman with 9 RBIs and Foster with 7. They've combined for 16 over the first 9 ball games of the new season. Talking with George Foster about hitting in front of Dave Kingman, comparing that with the years that he batted side by side with Johnny Bench. He said, Kingman is more exciting in a lot of ways. He's more explosive. Here's the pitch on the way. Low outside, it is ball 1. Foster, 1 of 5 in National League history to hit more than 50 home runs in a year. Kingman didn't miss that select circle by much. He had as many as 48 in 1 year. So it's back-to-back power for the New York Mets with Foster and Kingman. Pickoff play, throw to second. Baylor slides back. Rodney Scott starting in to take the throw from Ray Burris. Buddy Harrelson coaching first. Frank Howard on the lines at third. You look at Dave Kingman, and he looks like a very big man, and he is. He's 6'6". Then he stands alongside Frank Howard and doesn't look so big. Swing and a foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dave is 6'6", Frank Howard about 6'7". But Howard probably has about 50 pounds on Kingman. You won't find any coach anywhere who works as hard, puts as much energy and enthusiasm into baseball as Frank Howard. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dave Kingman. Burris delivers, and he misses the inside corner. It's 2 balls and a strike. This is Bob Engel's umpiring crew. Jerry Dale has the plate this afternoon. Paul Runge is at first. Eric Gregg at second. Bob Engel at third. Ellis Valentine waiting on deck. Pitching 2-1. Swing and a miss. Burris, a skillful pitcher, and the count goes to 2-2. Jim Fanning is the manager of the Montreal Expos. Key figure in the signing of these outstanding young Montreal players when he headed up the farm department. Then in September last year, he was tabbed by President John McHale to take over as the field skipper, and he rallied the Expos, and they went on to win. Much in the manner that Dallas Green had done for the Phillies. 2-2 pitch, and a piece of it for a foul, no play. Count holding at 2-2 on David Arthur. They call him Sky King Kingman. Dave has a lot of nicknames, Sky King, and Kong. He's never been too thrilled with that nickname Kong. Gary Carter setting the target. In comes the pitch. And a towering pop-up, a foul ball behind the plate. No play for Gary Carter. This will land back on the backstop screen. An afternoon game with Montreal tomorrow, then the Mets have a day off on Monday. Mike Scott will open the Cubs series Tuesday night here at Shea Stadium. That will be a 2-game series, both games at 7:35. Mets then will be traveling on Thursday to Montreal to start a very long road trip. They return to Shea Stadium on May 6th. Now Burris whirls, but no throw is made. The next homestand, one of the very best of the entire year. Mets will be home a full 2 weeks. Kingman with a slight crouch. Now the pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. So Burris, who really battles you, has now fanned both Foster and Kingman. It brings up Ellis Valentine. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
The song you love could be next on Love 97, WMVQ Amsterdam.
Bob Murphy with Steve Lamar. 1-0 New York, last of the first. So far, the little guys are causing Ray Burris a lot more trouble than the big guys. The little guys, Wilson and Baylor, manufactured a run. Now Ellis Valentine, he's one of the big guys, stands in. The pitch by Burris gets away from Gary Carter. Bob Baylor will go to third. That, I believe, will be scored as a pass ball. It was not in the dirt. It simply slithered away from Gary Carter. So Baylor goes to third. Been a rather tough inning defensively, Steve, for Gary Carter.
It has indeed. The Mets have stolen 2 bases against him. He has committed a throwing error on the stolen base by Mookie Wilson, and now it is scored as a pass ball on Carter, allowing Baylor to go to third after his stolen base is second.
Baylor is on third, 2 men down here in the first inning. The batter is Ellis Valentine, hitting at .263. The 1-0 delivery and a half-swing foul that will go out of play. That'll drop in the crowd behind the first base dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike to former Expo Ellis Valentine. The Mets needed power hitting. They traded Jeff Reardon to Montreal to get Ellis Valentine. The 1-1 delivery and a high fly over toward the right field line. on the run is Cromartie across the line in foul ground. On the warning track, he takes it for the out. So Valentine has fouled out. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and a runner left on third. After 1 inning at Shea, the Mets won and the Expos nothing.
A friendly game of hockey is what you showed up for. Then just before the face-off, their side suggested a little wager. Michelob Light for the winners. Right then, you felt the momentum swing to your side.
Michelob Light. There's nothing quite like that rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. It's Michelob Light, Michelob Light, Michelob Light, Michelob Light.
Man, what a game. Your team really came through, but you knew they would because you guys really had a thirst for the rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. Here's to the winners.
Michelob Light, compare the taste to anything you like.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Steve Boros coaches first base for Jim Fanning. Billy DeMars, who was the batting instructor for the Phillies for a number of years, is now the third base coach for Montreal. 13-year veteran Al Oliver. Montreal's hero last night. He hit a 2-strike fastball, a line drive over the wall in right center field in the 9th inning to win the ball game for the Expos. Jeff Reardon got the win in relief. Jesse Orozco the loss at relief. Orozco looked good except for that 1 pitch. It was the only hit that he gave up in 2 innings. Now Swan delivers high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the second. And a swing and a miss at a slider, a ball and a strike. Swan went 6 innings at his first start last Monday at Wrigley Field. He gave up 4 earned runs and allowed 5 hits. The 1-1 delivery and a strike call. It all happened to him in 1 inning, the 4th inning, and he said he was simply guilty of overthrowing. He got into a jam and then tried to reach back, and he was guilty of overthrowing. And the pitches started coming up. It's 1-2 on Al Oliver, a lifetime 300 hitter. Outside, 2-2. 8 times in his major league career, 8 out of 13. Oliver's hit over 300. That's way outside, ball 3. Swan walked the leadoff batter in the first, and that was Tim Raines. But he got out of the mess because John Stearns threw Raines out when he tried to steal. Pitching 3-2. Foul ball back on the screen. It holds at 3-2. Weatherman is saying nice things about tomorrow afternoon. And we hope your calendar has the ball game penciled in. The Mets and the Expos. Preseason experts guessing that it would be Montreal and St. Louis in a dogfight for the Eastern Division crown this year. Cardinals certainly have a great start. They've now won 6 straight. And the pitch by Burris, by Swan, I beg your pardon, and a foul back into the stands. Bruce Sutter has already chalked up 3 saves for the Cardinals. So has Gary Lucas of San Diego. Ground ball hammered down to first, fielded by Kingman. Underhand toss to Swan, and Oliver is out. Good job by Craig Swan getting over there to cover.
Gary Carter.
So 1 out and nobody on. Gary Carter standing in. Gary went 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Gary right now, the number 1 catcher in the National League. Here's the pitch on the way, off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch thrown, tries a curveball, it just misses, 2 balls and no strikes. Gary Carter is a young veteran with a huge contract. And the 2-0 delivery, a ground ball hammered toward the hole, off the glove of Brooks, who made a dive for it. It goes into the outfield. That's the base hit for Gary Carter. Hubie, with that hit-first dive, just touched it with his fingertips. So the Expos have a base runner with one down. It brings up Warren Cromartie. The Crow is a good hitter. Cromartie is now 28 years old. He has played about 5.5 years in the major leagues, and he is a lifetime .285 hitter. He has hit as many as 14 home runs in a year. He hit a 2-run homer in last night's game. It was the left-hand hitters punishing left-hand pitching that hurt the Mets in the game last night. Cromartie hit a 2-run homer off Falcone, and Al Oliver, a left-hand hitter, got the game-winning homer off of a left-hander, Jesse Orozco. Mets have the infield looking for two. That's high and away, ball one. Mets have turned over 11 double plays in their first 9 games. Ron Gardenhire sitting this one out. A little stiffness in his throwing shoulder. Had a throw to first. It is not in time. Ron had played every game. He plays very hard, so a day of rest, I'm sure, will help him. Now the pitch on the way, and Cromartie pulls it foul down the first base line. Gardenhire is hitting .393 on 11 for 28. What a start. Montreal has played 6 games. 4 of the 6 have been decided by 1 run. They are pitching so very well. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cromartie. After their first 6 games, the Montreal pitching staff ERA 1.70. Less than 2 earned runs per 9 innings. Kingman holding against the runner, Gary Carter. Breaking ball just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swan felt he had good velocity with his fastball at the start last Monday in Chicago. He appears to be throwing more breaking balls so far here today. 2-2 delivery, and a ground ball hammered toward the hole. Base hit to right field. Rounding second and stopping is Gary Carter as Valentine fields it and plays it back to the infield, just out of the reach of second baseman Bob Baylor. Interesting test for Craig Swan now. And it brings up rookie Brad Mills. He played on the same University of Arizona college baseball team with another young Montreal standout, Terry Francona. Brad Mills standing in, left-handed batter. He's a good-looking young ball player. Played well at Memphis and Denver. And the pitch thrown by Swan, a curveball that is low. Ball 1. Brad Mills started in pro ball just a couple of years ago. He was up with Montreal briefly when Larry Parrish got hurt year before last. Foul ball back into the grandstand. He played 21 games, batted at even .300. Last year at Denver, he hit .314, and in 17 games at Montreal, batted .238. Brad Mills. He played in the '79 College World Series and then started out in pro ball. He jams him a pop-up on the right side of the infield. They invoke the infield fly ruling. Kingman actually makes the catch, a stride in foul territory. Caught it near the bag at first. So Brad Mills has been retired, and here is Chris Spire, the shortstop. Spire came up with the Giants, later was traded to Montreal. Dick Williams always liked Chris Spire as a shortstop. When Dick was managing in Montreal, he engineered the deal. Spire is now an 11-year Major League veteran. A lifetime .246 batting average. He is a right-hand hitter. On the outside corner, a strike call. 1-0 New York. Montreal batting in the top of the second. 2 outs and 2 on. The infield spread out against the right-hand batter. The outfield is straight away. Throw to first. Oh! Almost an errant throw. Kingman had to hurdle over Warren Cromartie in order to get to the throw, and he pulled it off. Throw went right into the runner, and somehow Kingman managed to make a good play on it. Gary Carter on second, and Warren Cromartie on first with 2 down. Now Swan eyes the runners. Here's the pitch on the way. Foul ball back toward our broadcast booth. And this is out of play. The game today being televised all over Canada. The Duke of Flatbush is here. Hall of Famer Duke Snyder and Dave Van Horn as they telecast the game back to Canada. Now Swan up in pitching position. Delivers at a foul ball out of play. Not too many years ago on Old Timers Day at Shea Stadium, it was marvelous to see coming through the center field gate Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, and Duke Snyder, the three great center fielders of another era in New York. It inspired a very popular song. And a bouncing ball toward the hole, cut off by Hubie Brooks. Thrown to second, and the side is retired. Good play going to his left by Hubie. Then he threw to second base for the fourth play. No runs. There were 2 singles and 2 left. At the end of an inning and a half at Shea, the Mets won, and the Expos nothing.
Here at Aqueduct is where you'll find New Yorkers playing to win.
Go, go, go!
How do they do it? I wait to see what Ernie picks, then I pick something else.
Thanks, Lahib.
I just came to have a good time. I never dreamed I'd win. I think I'm gonna faint.
Oh, yeah. We're selling good old American made. The good old American trade. We've got products made by Uncle Sammy. Everyone from Pappy to Mammy. Made on American soil. Yes, sir. At Sunshine Mobile Homes, my friend, we're America's good old boys. Oh, yeah.
Sunshine Mobile Homes, Route 30, Person Mayfield, is proud to announce they're the exclusive dealers for the new Ritz-Craft homes.
Adams Heating, 2509 Broadway, Schenectady, says get into the swing of things this spring with a new Bryan heat pump air conditioner. The smart new way to heat and cool your home and cut your annual heating costs up to 60%. Bryan heat pumps air conditioners are engineered throughout for efficiency, reliability, and quiet operation. So for a new heat and cool year, see Adams Heating, 2509 Broadway, Schenectady.
This is to Mr. and Mrs. Jack O'Connell.
Well, that's great.
Terrific, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Rather large cigars. You notice that?
Well, if you don't smoke them, just save them for Kiner. Ralph loves them. John Stearns will be up against Ray Burris in the top of the second. The tall right-hander from Oklahoma around with the arm and a high fly to left field. Tim Raines, the left fielder, just sauntering in a few strides, and he puts this away 1 down. So Stearns an easy out on a lazy fly to left. To the plate will come Hubie Brooks. Hubie has his bat going now after a slow start. Now is hit safely in 5 straight ball games.
For third baseman, number 7, Hubie Brooks.
He'll be getting his batting average up over 200 after a nice cold start. And that's with a 1-0 lead. We're in the last half of the second. Today is Mets Wall Calendar Day. Very attractive calendar. Have a chance to thumb through it?
Yes, I did. Great calendar, isn't it?
Terrific. Color pictures of your favorite members of the New York Mets. Tomorrow again is also Team Calendar Day, so if you didn't come today and get one, try and come tomorrow. You'll enjoy having it. It is very attractive, very well done. The 1-1 delivery to Hubie, and a line drive to second, caught by Rodney Scott. Hubie hitting it sharply, but straight as an arrow to the second baseman, Rodney Scott. So Hubie hit it hard luck that time. 2 outs and nobody on. Tom Verizor will bat. Tom has been to bat only 1 time and has 1 hit, 1 for 1. Tom, a 7-year American League veteran with Detroit and Cleveland, came to the Mets in a trade for left-hander Ray Series. Swing at a curve and a miss, strike 1. Craig Swan is out on deck. Now Ray Burris will deliver. A wild swing and a miss by Tom Verizor. Good slider by Ray Burris that really tailed away. The defense set up straight away against Tom Vereiser. Strike three. Curveball in the outside corner. Burris getting his third strikeout. He's going to be tough. No runs, no hits, none left. At the end of two, the score, the New York Mets won. The Montreal Expos, nothing. The Mets are happy to tell you younger fans that the unique MVP fan club is back. Again this year, boys and girls 15 and younger can get 8 tickets to Mets games, a decal package, and more, all for only $2. The special MVP fan package contains the 8 tickets to top games, official membership card, exclusive throw-on packs, and other surprises. So here's all you have to do to join the Mets fan club. Send $2 in check or money order along with your name and address to Mets MVP Club, Box 3000, Flushing, New York, 11352. MVP kits will be mailed out in April and early May, so send for yours today. That's $2 for 8 game tickets and more. The Mets MVP Club, Box 3000, Flushing, New York, 11352. And it's a great way for young Mets fans to be a part of it. We had bright sunshine about 15 minutes ago. Now the cloud cover has moved in. A balmy afternoon for a mid-April Major League ball game in New York. We go to the third. Ray Burris comes up against Craig Swan. And picking up the action for you, Steve Lamar.
Burris, big guy, 6'5", 195 pounds. First came to the major leagues with the Cubs back in 1973. He'll be followed by Tim Raines and then by Rodney Scott. 1 run, 2 hits for the Mets. No runs, 2 hits for the Expos. And the pitch lined out into center field. Base hit. Burris leads off with a single into center field. Swan gave up a couple of base hits, but no runs scored in the second inning. Now Burris leads off with a solid single into center to lead off the third, and Tim Raines is coming up. He was walked in the first inning and then was thrown out stealing by John Stern. And that doesn't happen very often when Raines is caught stealing. Raines with a batting average of 160. He had 2 base hits, a double and a triple last night. From the left side this year, he's hitting only 100, 2 out of 20. Last year, he hit 319 left-handed. The pitch. Low and inside. The Raines, ball 1. One to 0 to Tim Raines. Burris at first base. Nobody out. Third inning. Mets leading 1-0 on the pitch. Outside for a ball. A fastball by Swan. 2-0. Gibby Brooks at third at the cut of the grass. Kingman playing on the bag with Burris taking the lead. And the pitch to Raines. Fly ball hit out to left field. Foster has the sunglasses down, moves a few steps toward the line and makes the catch. So Raines is out on a fly ball to Foster in left field, and that'll bring up Rodney Scott. All fans 16 and older can get a free Mets seat cushion on Saturday night, May 29th. It's the Mets against the Astros at 7:35, and it's free seat cushion night. Come on out and be a part of it. Rodney Scott's the batter. He bounced out to second baseman Bob Baylor his first time. Scott, a switch hitter, hitting left-handed. The pitch. And that's in there. A breaking ball from Swan, 0-1. The count. Scott lost his second base job to rookie Wallace Johnson. But Rodney getting the start at second base today. The pitch. Fastball lined out into center field. Mookie coming on in a hurry and picks it off the grass for the out. Mookie fooled on that ball, hit into center field. He thought it was hit better than it was. And it appeared to be a pretty well hit ball leaving the bat, but it died out in center field. And Mookie had to hustle in and made a shoestring catch.
Boy, I'm not surprised he was fooled by it, Steve. It did a real dipsy-do on him, whatever that is.
That ball really died out there. Andre Dawson, the batter. He flied to Mookie his first time. 2 away, Burris at first base. Dawson started the game at 2:27. He was 1 for 3 last night. Pitch to Andre. High and inside, ball 1. The Expos team batting average, .228. Montreal has hit 7 home runs in the first 6 games of the year. The Mets team batting average, .260. And this pitch is inside to Dawson, 2-0. Craig Swan, 0-1 this year. 0-2, suffering through a lot of injury problems last year. Both losses were to the Expos. Burris leads at first. The pitch to Dawson started to go and checked the swing, but the ball fouled off the bat. So it cost Dawson a strike, and it's 2-1. The outfield straight away and deep. Valentine a few steps toward right center out in right field. Andre Dawson out of the box, now back in and ready to go. 2-1 the count and the pitch. Strike call on the outside corner. Good pitch by Swan. Right about the knees on the outside corner, and Dawson takes a walk for himself outside the batter's box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ray Burris led off with a single, has remained at first as Raines and Scott have been retired, and the count 2-2 to Dawson. Swan at the belt and throws. Foul back onto the screen below us. The count remains 2-2. Andre Dawson, 27-year-old outfielder out of Miami, Florida, one of the real stars in the National League. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to Brooks at third base. He gobbles it up, throws to Baylor. The force is on, and the side is retired. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. No runs, a base hit, and a man left. In the middle of the third, the Mets won. The Expos, nothing. At St. Louis, the Cardinals are at it again. They have scored twice in the bottom of the first inning off Steve Carlton. So after 1, St. Louis 2, and the Philadelphia Phillies nothing. Joaquin Andujar pitching today for St. Louis. Toronto scored 3 times in the top of the first and leads Boston 3-0 with the Red Sox batting in the bottom of the first inning over the American League. Bomback for Toronto, Tudor for Boston. Kansas City and Cleveland no score after 1. But now Hal McRae has homered in the top of the second for Kansas City, where the base is empty, his second of the year. So the Royals leading at least 1-0 at Cleveland in the top of the second. Detroit 1, the Yankees nothing. That is after an inning and a half today. The 1 Detroit run on an Enos Cabell home run. Craig Swan, the batter, and he takes a breaking ball in there for a strike call. Swan batting for the first time today. He's a career 153 hitter. High and tight. 1 ball and 1 strike to Swan. Craig looking for his first win since June of 1980 when he beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Strike calls. A ball and 2 strikes to Swan, who first came to the Mets in 1973. Swing and a miss, and he is out of there. That is strikeout number 4 for Ray Burris. He got Foster and Kingman in the first inning, Verizor in the second, and now Craig Swan leading off here in the third. The batter, Mookie Wilson. Mookie singled in the first inning, stole second, went to third when Gary Carter threw the ball into center field, and scored on a bloop single by Bob Baylor. Mets leading 1-0. Brad Mills shallow at third base as Mookie is into the batter's box. He runs up the bunt, bluffs the bunt, and takes the pitch low. The count is 1-0. Burris back into the windup, a 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss. Burris took something off that one. 1-1. It was a rough first inning for Gary Carter. The Mets stole 2 bases off him. He committed a throwing error and a pass ball in that first inning. 1-1 pitch to Mookie inside. At his feet, 2-1. The Expos have dominated the Mets over the past 3 years, winning 35 out of the 49 meetings. Mookie fouls one back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Montreal, with an obviously improved ball club, also has been a lot tougher to beat since they moved out of Old Jerry Park and into the new beautiful Olympic Stadium.
The 2-2 pitch by Burris to Mookie, way up high and outside, 3-2.
Interesting to note, Steve, that when they played at Jerry Park, they played on natural grass, as the Mets do here in New York. But when they moved into Olympic Stadium, then they went onto the turf.
3-2 pitch fouled away.
And when they went to the turf, Dick Williams, who was managing at that time, made moves to get more speed on his ball club.
Three balls, 2 strikes to Mookie Wilson. And the pitch to Mookie. Check swing, ground ball, third base side, and it hits the bag. Fair ball, kicks into foul territory. Mookie around first base, goes to second. He'll be in there easily.
Oh, that kicked off the bag and then went over into foul territory by the tarp. Mookie went flying across first base, not realizing where the ball was, and Buddy Harrelson was yelling, "Go to second, go to second." That's when you're living right.
It's one of the funniest looking base hits you'll ever see. Mookie got a double out of it. He's at second. 1 out, and Bob Baylor is the batter. Ball hit third base, kicked over to the tarp, and Mookie, with that speed of his, had no trouble going to second base. Baylor singled to knock in the Mets' run in the first inning. He has hit in 5 of his 6 games. The pitch to Bob, inside at his 5th, ball 1. Ray Burris beat the Mets 3 times last year and had an ERA against New York of 1.57 in 4 ball games. Mookie leads at second. The 1-0 pitch to Baylor. Ground ball to the right side. He'll advance Mookie. Scott picks it up and throws out Baylor. Wilson goes to third. So, 2 outs now, and Foster the batter. Baylor didn't take a full swing of that ball and grounded out to the second baseman, Rodney Scott. Trying to punch that ball through in right field, but hit it to Scott. Wilson now at third, 2 outs. Foster the batter. He struck out on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning.
Rodney Scott looking to the dugout to see how far around they want him to play against George Foster. How far toward the middle of the diamond.
He is backed up deep at second base at the edge of the outfield grass and over towards second. The pitch to Foster is high. Outfield around to the left and deep with Foster up there. George has hit safely in his last 6 ball games. 0 for 1 today. Had a 2-run single in last night's game. Pitch to Foster. Pops up foul off first base, and that is out of play. Coming back into the box seat. So it's a ball and a strike to Foster. Had a crowd of over 20,000 paid here last night, so the Mets have drawn nearly 90,000 in the first 4 home dates. Pitch to Foster. Breaking ball grounded to third. Brad Mills makes the play and throws to first in time for the out. And that's it for the Mets in the third inning. No runs, a base hit, and Mookie Wilson left on at third base. After 3 innings of play at Shea, it's the Mets 1, Montreal nothing.
After 2 hours of doubles, your tennis buddies thought they had you on the run. Then they suggested a new match with Michelob Light for the winners. They should have quit while they were ahead.
Michelob Light, there's nothing quite like that rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. It's Michelob Light, Michelob Light,
What an afternoon. You took them in straight sets, and like good sports, they took you straight to the bar for your prize. The rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. Here's to the winners.
Michelob Light, the taste of anything you like.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
We also remind all fans.
Before Al Oliver bats in the 4th inning, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network. Oliver, Gary Carter, and Warren Cromartie for the Expos in the top of the 4th. The Mets have a run on 3 hits. The Expos no runs on 3 hits. Oliver is 0 for 1. He grounded out Kingman to Swan in the 2nd inning. Oliver with 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and he had the game winner last night, a home run in the 9th inning. He swings and misses at a high delivery from Swan, strike 1. Oliver set an American League record in 1980, 21 total bases in a doubleheader at Detroit. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. In that doubleheader, he had 4 home runs, a double, and a triple. That's a good doubleheader.
Great ballpark for a left-hand hitter, too.
Oh, my. Swan's going to tie the shoelace here. The count 1-1. Now he's looking into the signs and Stearns, and here's the 1-1 pitch. High fly ball hit to center field. Mookie drifting back, way back. He's there. He's got it. And there's 1 down.
How many home runs in the doubleheader? 4?
4.
Very interesting because I think Oliver's career high in home runs for 1 year has been 20.
That's right. Hit 20 for the Pirates back in 1973. Oliver's been retired, and Gary Carter, the batter, had a base hit in the 2nd inning. Carter hitting 182 on the young year. The pitch to him, breaking ball, strike called. Carter was 0 for 4 last night. Swan into the windup and the pitch. That's outside for a ball. 1-1. 6'3", 215-pound, 31-year-old Craig Swan throws to Gary Carter. Had missed the inside corner, low, 2-1. Swan, lifetime is 5-7 against Montreal, 0-2 last year. Swinging a drive deep down the line in left field, and that is fair. It hits into the corner off the wall. Carter going for second and will be in with a double as Foster gets the ball back into Verizon. So a 1-out double by Gary Carter here in the 4th inning.
He timed his swing just right against the curveball. Curveball that was breaking just about over the inside corner.
4th hit of the day for Montreal. And the hitter is Warren Cromartie.
We see a lot of airliners go over Shea Stadium. We rarely see a helicopter. One just whizzed by.
The pitch to Cromartie, high for a ball. That chopper was really moving, wasn't it?
He was buzzing right along.
Carter at second, 1 out, 1-0 to Cromartie, who had a base hit his first time. Swan set, the pitch. Fastball popped up foul out of play behind the plate. 1-1 to Warren Cromartie. The first game the Montreal Expos ever played was right here at Shea Stadium, April the 8th, 1969.
They won it.
11-10 they did. The pitch, inside and low. 2 balls and a strike to Cromartie. Rusty Staub, of course, was one of the original Expos. He was in the lineup that day, and he hit a home run for Montreal. First game the Expos ever played. Gary Carter at second base, 1 out. 2-1 to Cromartie. Swan at the belt. The pitch. High, and it's 3-1 now. Brad Mills is on deck with Chris Fire to follow. Swan pitching carefully to Cromartie, and there's a high drive deep to right field, but going back, Valentine, he's at the track and makes the catch. Carter will tag and go to third.
You know, Steve, a breeze has sprung up. We had virtually no wind at all in the early part of the game. Now we have a breeze that's blowing to right field. It had a following wind, and Valentine had to go deep to get it. First one off the bat, I thought it was just a routine fly ball.
I did, too. Valentine went about midway on the warning track in right field to haul in that drive by Cromartie. 2 away. Carter tagged and went to third. Brad Mills, the batter. He fouled out to Kingman his first time. And the left-handed batting third baseman takes one high and away, ball 1. And the pitch to Brad Mills. There's a shot up the middle, a base hit into center field for Mills. Carter scores, and we have a tie ball game. As Brad Mills lines one right through the middle for a base hit.
Last Monday in Chicago, Swan made his first start, blanked the Cubs the first 3 innings, and then in the 4th inning he was ambushed. That was his 1 bad inning out of 6. 4th inning, a bugaboo so far.
The Expos have scored to tie it. Mills at first base, 2 outs, and the batter Chris Fire. This one fouled back to the screen behind the plate. No balls and a strike to Spire. Brad Mills, on one swing of the bat, gets his first base hit and first RBI of the year. And ties this ball game. The Expos now have 5 base hits. Here's Swan's 0-1 pitch. In the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Spire up there. Mills at first and 2 outs. And the pitch. Fouled away off first base. So it's a ball and 2 strikes to Spire. Interesting statistic on Spire's 1981 season. He hit .225 overall, but he hit better on grass surfaces than artificial turf. Much better on grass. The pitch fouled away by Spire. 1-2 the count remains.
It usually goes the other way.
Yes, it does. He hit .260 on grass, and on artificial turf, he hit only .214.
I would say he had far fewer at-bats on the grass.
You're right. He had about 73 or so. Spire up there, the count 1-2. Mills leads at first base with 2 away, and the pitch. Popped up foul off third base, and that will get back out of play. Brooks over to the railing, but that is well out of play. Still 1-2 to Spire. Chris Spire, veteran shortstop, off to a slow start this year, batting 105 at the start of the game, and he's 0 for 1 today. Had a double and 3 at-bats last night. 1-2 the count. Mills with the lead at first. And here's Swan's pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Bob Baylor waiting for it at second base. Makes the play and easily throws out Spire to retire the side. A run on 2 base hits for Montreal. No errors and 1 man left. At the end of 3 1/2, it's the Mets 1 and the Expos 1. At Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the Cardinals have scored 3 more runs in the bottom of the second inning. And St. Louis leads Philadelphia 5-0 after 2 as they are rocking Steve Carlton today. The Cardinals have won 5 in a row, or 6 in a row now, and leading 5-0 over Philadelphia today.
If Carlton loses today, Steve will be 0-3, and Nolan Ryan is already 0-3.
That's right. Ryan lost last night to Atlanta. Dave Kingman, Ellis Valentine, and John Stern for the Mets in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kingman fanned in the first inning. He's hit safely in his last 4 games, going 5 for 15. David is 3rd in the National League and runs batted in. And he tries a swinging bunt, doesn't get it. Strike 1. Brad Mills, the third baseman, playing deep at third, of course, with Kingman up there, and David tried to chop one down the third base side, couldn't get it. Breaking ball fouled away, and it's 0-2. Ray Burris on the mound today for the Montreal Expos. He was 9-7 for Montreal and had a marvelous postseason for the Expos last year. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Kingman, high for a ball, 1-2. In the League Championship Series against the Dodgers, Burris was 1-0 in 17 innings, an ERA of about half a run a ball game. Pitch popped up foul by Kingman off first base, and it's out of play. Still 1-2. Kingman with 9 RBIs. The National League leaders are Keith Hernandez of St. Louis and Atlanta's Dale Murphy with 10 RBIs apiece. Kingman and Keith Moreland of the Cubs tied for third place with 9 RBIs. The pitch popped up on the infield, actually in foul territory. Carter waiting for it, and he's got it to the right of home plate about halfway up the first baseline and in foul territory. So Kingman fouls out, 1 away in the 4th inning, and the hitter will be Ellis Valentine. Valentine is 0 for 1 today. Fouled out to right fielder Warren Cromartie in the first inning. Ellis, of course, a former Montreal Expo. Valentine came up to the big leagues with the Expos in 1975. Over to the Mets last year. Burris winds and throws. And a change grounded foul past Frank Howard on the third base side. 0-1 is the count to Ellis Valentine. Ellis won a Gold Glove while playing for the Expos back in 1978. His best year, .315 with Montreal in 1980. The pitch, high and away for a ball, 1-1. 3 times Ellis Valentine has hit more than 20 home runs in a year. 1977, 78, and 79 with Montreal. The pitch, a little nubber back towards the box. Picking it up Burris. He's got it and throws out Valentine 2 away. So Valentine out. Burris to Oliver. 2 outs with the bases empty, and John Stearns coming up. He flew out to left field his first time up today. Burris with a pitch. High for a ball, 1-0. In the American League, after an inning and a half, Boston 5, Toronto 3. In there for a strike call to Stearns. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kansas City leads Cleveland 1-0 in the second inning on a Hal McRae home run. Ground ball left side through the hole. Base hit into left field for Stearns. John Stearns punching one between Mills and Spire for a base hit into left. The ball coming in from left fielder Tim Raines got away. Stearns did not advance. Ball rolled over towards first base. So with John at first and 2 outs, Gibby Brooks is coming up. The wind sweeping some hot dog wrappers across the infield now, over toward the Met dugout. Gibby Brooks into the batter's box. He lined out to second baseman Rodney Scott in the second inning. 0 for 1 today, 1 for 5 in the series. And the pitch is hit in the air to left field. Tim Raines moving to his left. He's waiting for it, and he's got it. And the side is retired. Mets in the fourth, no runs, a base hit, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 4, Montreal 1, the New York Mets 1.
You're in your Datsun Turbo ZX waiting for the light to turn green. You know the secret of controlling your turbo power is controlling yourself. So while you wait, you let the 4-speaker stereo soothe you with sound. The instrument panel glows with information. The turbo boost gauge is at the ready. The quartz digital clock blinks off the seconds. And you wait. You won't snap your Datsun Turbo ZX from 0 to 50 in 6 seconds flat, but you know you could. You won't wind it to its track speed of over 100 miles an hour, but you know you could. And when the light does turn green, you won't flaunt your turbo power. But knowing you could is awesome. The Datsun Turbo ZX is waiting for you at your Datsun dealer today.
A 1-1 ball game. Montreal has 5 base hits. The Mets 4. Swan and Burris locked up in a good one at Shea Stadium as we go to the 5th and Bob Murphy.
All right, Steve, in the 5th inning, Ray Burris will lead off. Burris got a base hit his first time up, and that was leading off in the 3rd inning. In 2 of the 4 innings, the Expos have had their leadoff batter on base. Game tied 1-1. Charlie Lee will pitch tomorrow afternoon against Randy Jones. Charlie Lee was born in France. His home is Memphis, Tennessee. And he got in the baseball headlines very easily last year in May by pitching a no-hitter. And a towering pop-up on the left side of the diamond. On the skin part of the diamond, Barrizer waiting, and he has it for the out. Shortstop Tom Barrizer makes the catch, retiring Ray Burris. Bill Stoneman, in the early years of the Montreal Expos, had 2 no-hitters. One of the 2 came against the New York Mets. Charlie Lee came up with some elbow trouble late in the year and did not participate in postseason play. Charlie Lee Young right-hander who spells his name Lea. Now Tim Raines batting, and he takes high, ball one. Raines walked and was caught stealing by John Stearns in the first. He flied to left in the third. And a well-hit fly ball to right center field, fairly deep, playable. Valentine will be under it in right center, and he has it. So Raines is out. He saw two pitches. 2 outs and nobody on in the visiting fifth inning. The number 2 batter is outfielder Rodney Scott. Wallace Johnson, a rookie, has been starting every game at second, but Jim Fanning today switched to Rodney Scott. Rodney has been coming in late in every ball game the Expos have played. He comes in to play defense. Two outs and nobody on. Now Stearns setting a target. It is under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Tomorrow, Randy will be trying for his third win. Randy twice has beaten the Phillies and Steve Carlton. The 1-0 delivery by Craig Swan and a smack through the hole. A base hit to right by Rodney Scott. And you have to keep an eye on him. He has base-stealing speed. So Rodney Scott, a 2-out single to right, and the hitter coming up is the number 3 hitter, Andre Dawson. Last year, in 95 games, Rodney Scott stole 30 bases. This is the kind of game that a stolen base can turn. It is tied 1-1. We're in the fifth inning. Craig Swan in the duel with Ray Burris. Montreal 1 run on 6 hits. New York 1 run on 4 hits. Now Scott takes his lead. He's holding up. The pitch was high. 1 ball and no strikes. Dave Kingman holding against the runner. Rodney with a good lead now, and he draws the throw and gets back to the bag. Charlie Palaio will start to warm up in the New York Mets bullpen. Craig went 6 innings his first outing. I don't believe George Bamberger is looking for any more than that here today. Throw to first, he almost threw that one away. It was a low throw. Kingman made the snag and caught it right on the shoe top of Rodney Scott. Made it a pretty close play at first base. Right-hand hitter Andre Dawson waiting, and another throw over. Swan convinced that Rodney Scott is going to try and steal second. Dawson 1 for 5 in the series, batting at .227, and he is a solid 300 hitter. Batted .302 last year with 24 home runs. And still another throw to first by Craig Swan. 4 times now that Craig has thrown over watching Rodney Scott. Now the big right-hander comes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. He gets behind on Dawson 2-0. Now Craig is going to have to concentrate on throwing strikes and getting Dawson out. Scott building his lead off first base. 2-0 delivery, hammered hard, foul down the left field line. Breaking ball that was inside, full foul by Andre Dawson. It is 2 balls and a strike. Andre had 24 homers and 64 runs batted in a year ago. All of that in 103 ball games. Let's play Andre Dawson to pull the ball. Verizor, the shortstop, is over in the hole and almost on the edge of the outfield grass. Bob Baylor, the second baseman, shaded toward the middle of the diamond. And Mookie is a couple of strides to left center and deep in the outfield. Throw to first. Dave Kingman walks the ball about halfway back to the mound. Al Oliver is the cleanup batter, and Gary Carter hits number 5. Dawson, Oliver, and Carter in the middle of the Montreal batting order. Swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch by Swan. Again, the runner was holding up. That shows you the respect they have at this point in time for John Stearns. He threw out Tim Raines in the first inning. Rodney Scott building a lead. The 2-2 delivery. He's running. Ground ball hit the third. Booted by Tom Verizor. It goes into the outfield. Rodney Scott will go around to third. And now runners are on first and third. Ground ball hit right at the shortstop, Tom Verizor, but Tom didn't make the play. Mets have been guilty of 14 errors in their first 10 ball games this year. They've made some exciting plays, but they are making some errors on what would appear to be more of the routine type play. That's an error on Tom Verizor. First and third, 2 down. Oliver the batter. Swing and a foul off the mask of John Stern. Mets made more errors than any team in baseball last year. They play Oliver as a pull hitter around to right field. Off-speed delivery by Swan that is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. New York 1, Montreal 1. The Expos have a threat. Runners at the corners with 2 men away, and their cleanup batter Al Oliver at the plate. Lobbed over to first, not in time. Rodney Scott is on third. Andre Dawson is on first. Now Al Oliver waiting. That's high outside. Fastball by Swan. He reached back that time, trying to get that extra yard. The count is 2 balls and a strike. Behind Al Oliver, it is Gary Carter. Pitching 2-1. At a drive, well hit the right. Valentine backing up, makes the catch. Side retired. Blistering line drive. Valentine retreated. He was 1 stride from the right field fence when he caught the Savage line drive. Let's get a break on that. It was really hit hard, but right to Ellis Valentine. No runs, a hit and error, and 2 were left on. So we're halfway at the end of 4.5. Montreal 1 and New York 1.
Kelly Lumber Company reminds you. Yes, it's Kelly Lumber's National Procrastination Week sale. Let Kelly Lumber help you accomplish all those tasks you've been putting off, like a new ceiling with quality Cellotech ceilings. You can staple up or drop in these fine ceilings now at substantial savings. Ask the Kelly counter personnel for advice on how to turn an old room into a new one. It's Kelly Lumber's National Procrastination Week sale. Is your nonprofit service club or organization planning something special? Even your next regular monthly meeting? Let Love 97 help you with our calendar of events. Once every hour, we're telling the Twin Counties what worthwhile community-minded events are going on. And we'd like to help your group as well. Want some help? Just send information about your group's event to Love 97, WMVQ, 279 West Main Street, Amsterdam, New York, 12010.
1-1, another good one. Montreal won 4-3 on Al Oliver's 9th inning home run last night. Twice the Mets came from behind to tie the game. They were behind 1-0 and tied it at 1 in the first. Fell behind 3-1 when Cromartie hit a 2-run homer. George Foster's very timely hit drove in 2 and tied the ball game. Then Montreal won it in the 9th inning. Tom Verizor, the shortstop, leading off against Ray Burris. Last half of the 5th inning. Tom was struck out his first time at bat. 1 hit and 2 times at bat on the year. It is raining not too far away in Pittsburgh, and a pop-up into short right. Rodney Scott backpedaling, and he snags it for the out. So Verizor hitting the first pitch has popped up. 1 out and nobody on. So Craig Swan now, after 5 innings, is coming out of the ball game. Charlie Paleo is getting ready at the bullpen, and the pinch hitter will be Mike Jorgensen. It was another successful outing for Craig Swan. He is still building up strength in his pitching arm and that shoulder. Right now, he can go 5, maybe 6. And his strength will build up as he goes along. So Swan will leave the game. He cannot lose. He could be the winner if the Mets score here and hold the lead. Jorgensen takes a strike at the knees. Mike drew an important walk as a pinch hitter last night. Now Ray Burris fires, and it's way inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swan had good control today. He walked only one batter. That was Raines, the leadoff hitter in the game. So Craig allowed 1 run, scattered 6 hits, walked 1, and struck out none in 5 innings. The 2-1 delivery to Jorge, a swing and a miss, 2-2. Raining in Pittsburgh, the Cubs and Pirates being delayed. St. Louis leading the Phillies and Carlton 5-0 in the 4th. Joaquin Andujar pitching for the Cardinals. 2-2 delivery, low, ball 3, 3-2. Tonight in Houston, Bob Walk, who came to the Braves for Gary Matthews, will be trying to get the Braves' 10th straight win. Joe Niekro will pitch for Houston. 3-2. Curve inside, ball 4. And Jorgensen, as he did last night, has drawn a walk as a pinch hitter. And that is the first walk given up by Ray Burris, so Jorge has a good eye at the plate. Dodgers play in San Diego tonight. The Padres have taken the first 2 games of the series. And the Reds are at San Francisco. Bruce Berini against Al Holland. And the Reds have found some hard times in the early going. Now here is Mookie. Mookie has singled and doubled in 2 times at bat. At a breaking ball, he lays off. They want the half swing checked out. The third base umpire, Bob Engel, and he is the crew chief, says no. 1 ball, no strikes to Mookie Wilson. Mookie has about the greatest smile you've ever seen, and he always seems to be smiling. He enjoys his life, and he enjoys and loves playing baseball. Fouled behind third and back into the grandstand. I don't think I've ever seen Mookie when he wasn't smiling, Steve.
He's always got that smile on his face, and when you see it, you want to smile or laugh right along with it.
He represents happiness. Reminds me of Willie Mays. Willie always was so happy when he had the uniform on and was playing baseball. Jorgensen on first and 1 down. Fouled, straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mookie Wilson. Mookie scored the lone run for New York in the opening inning. He singled, he stole second, continued to third when the throw went to the outfield. And Bob Baylor got him home with a base hit. That's 1 run on 4 hits. Montreal 1 run on 6 hits. Here's the pitch on the way. It's high inside. In his first start against the Phillies, Ray Burris worked 8 innings. He did not allow an earned run. He lost that game to Kruko 1-0. The only run was unearned. 2-2 delivery, fouled, back over the press level, up into the mezzanine section at Shea Stadium. It has been fun to watch the enjoyment the Diamond Vision Board has been providing the fans here at Shea on this first homestand. It does add a great deal. Now the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped and held on to by Gary Carter. So Mookie is out on strike. 5 strikeouts for Ray Burris. Burris has walked only 1, struck out 5, scattered 4 hits. Bob Baylor batting for the 3rd time. Baylor singled in the first, scored Mookie Wilson with the Mets lone run. Mets will have Charlie Palaio in to pitch when we move to the 6th inning. Breaking ball inside, ball 1. Burris mixes his pitches so very well. You just cannot guess with him. Now the 1-0 delivery and a late swing, a foul ball down the right field line. It's out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bob Baylor. Baylor hitting .333. Charlie Palaio will make his 4th relief appearance when he takes over in the 6th inning. Bunted down the third base line. Picked up, no bobble by Brad Mills. I think it'll go as a base hit. Runners are on first and second for George Foster, and that'll be scored a base hit. Either you do or you don't on that play. Baylor laid down a beautiful bunt. Mills, the third baseman, tried to race in, pick it up with his throwing hand, and get it underway all in the same motion. Couldn't field it clean. Had he picked the ball up, he probably still could not have made the play. It's a base hit. A bunt single for Bob Baylor. We pause for a station break. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Love 97 is one of a kind. The great music station. WNVQ Amsterdam.
George Foster is 0 for 2. George has struck out and bounced to third. In comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. And a changeup thrown by Ray Burris, and the count is strike one. Mets now trying to reclaim the lead. They led 1-0 for 3 innings. Montreal got the tying run in the 4th. We're now playing in the last half of the 5th. Here's the stretch by Burris and the pitch. And a grounder pull foul. And now Ray Burris has him painted into a corner with a 2-strike count. "31-year-old Ray Burris out of Iredell, Oklahoma." Expos have the infield astride to left against George Foster. Deep behind third is Brad Mills, about 3 strides from the line. Up in pitching position, Ray Burris, now the pitch. Breaking ball low outside. Foster was tempted, did not pull the trigger. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The lead runner on second, Mike Jorgensen, as a pinch hitter. He drew a walk, the only one given by Ray Burris. Bob Baylor is on first with a bunt single. Foster, a very deliberate hitter, and Burris pitching very deliberately right now. So George Foster steps out of the batter's spot. We're waiting for George as he takes a couple of phantom swings. Foster with 7 RBIs. He got 2 last night. Burris now is into his stretch. The 1-2 delivery and a high fly ball to center field. Easy play for Andre Dawson. He's under it waiting, and he makes the catch. No runs, a hit, 2 are left on. At the end of 5 at Shea Stadium, it's Montreal 1 and New York 1.
The American dream of a new car every 2 years is fading fast. People are holding on to their cars like never before and taking better care of them. They're tuning up their 2-year-olds, painting their 4-year-olds, even overhauling their 8-year-olds. We at Getty understand your decision to keep your car longer. So to help you get the most out of your car, we produce quality gasoline and motor oil. Getty Gold Motor Oil is one way to help you keep your engine running like clockwork. At high temperatures, it thins less, so your engine uses less oil. It also helps give you the lubrication you need in any weather. And Getty Gasoline gives you smooth performance mile after mile. If you're planning to keep your car miles further, drive into Getty. Now more than ever, we at Getty want you to get the most out of your car.
The ground crew has been out to smooth out the infield as we go now to the 6th inning. Charlie Puleo is on in relief. Charlie has made 3 previous appearances this year. He has been shaky in 2 and very good in 1. He was wild his last relief appearance, and that was 2 days ago, the 13-inning ball game against Philadelphia. He walked 4 in 3 innings and was consistently behind the hitters, and that's very unlike Charlie Puleo, who normally has good control. He might have been just a little bit nervous, appearing almost in his hometown. He is out of Bloomfield, New Jersey. So Charlie Puleo is on in relief. Charlie was the loser in that 13-inning game. He'll be facing Gary Carter in the top of the 6th inning, followed by Warren Cromartie, and then the rookie third baseman, Brad Mills. Carter off to a big start in this game with a single and double and 2 times up. Fastball high, 1 ball, and no strikes. Craig Swan should feel good about his outing, holding the Expos to a single run over the first 5. That's high inside, ball 2. So Puleo quickly drops behind the hitter. And this is what proved to be his enemy 2 days ago against the Phillies. The 2-0 delivery, ball 3, outside and low. It's 3-0. They have a long rain delay in Pittsburgh this afternoon. Pirates are at home to the Chicago Cubs. 3-0 delivery. Strike called. Carter bluffing that stride toward first, and he is brought back by the plate umpire, Jerry Dale. Hubie Brooks guarding the line now against Gary Carter. Tom Bereiser over in the hole at short. Bobby Baylor shaded near second. And a drive in the air to center field. Going back is Mookie. He flips the glasses, and he makes the grab. Mookie just drifting back with it all the way. And Gary Carter is out. So Paleo, a nice comeback. He was behind 3-0, and he came back to retire Gary Carter. That's what a manager likes to see in a young pitcher, his ability to keep his poise. Warren Cromartie has singled to right, and he pelted one at the deep right that Valentine caught. Ellis having a busy day in the outfield, and he is a good outfielder. In comes the pitch from Paleo. At the knees, strike one call. And a ground ball hit right to second baseman Bob Baylor. Bob straightens up, throws to Kingman, and Cromartie is out. 2 outs and nobody on in this tie ball game. We're in the 6th inning, and Brad Mills will come up. Be interesting, Steve, as we go along this season to see who nails down the third base job. Whether it'll be Tim Wallach in his sophomore year or the rookie Brad Mills.
They're 2 young men with a lot of potential. Mills hits from the left side. Wallach, with a lot more power, hits from the right side.
Strike call to the outside corner. And perhaps Jim Fanning will wind up with tuning at that position.
Could very well be.
It is taken low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Generally speaking, you'd rather have a man who plays day in and day out at third base. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball by Charlie Paleo. Running it in on the knees of the hitter. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brad Mills. The 1-2 delivery just missed the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Brad Mills played at the University of Arizona. His teammate was Terry Francona. Ground ball hit toward the hole off the glove of Kingman. Going into right field, and Brad Mills is on. That'll be a base hit, his second of the afternoon. He now has 2 for 3. He looks like a good young hitter. The number 8 hitter for Montreal is the veteran shortstop, Chris Fire. Fire has been to bat twice, both times hit a ground ball on the left side of the infield and been thrown out. So Fire is 0 for 2. Ray Burris comes out on deck. Brad Mills takes a short lead off first. We'll keep an eye on him. Charlie Paleo fires. Bouncing ball hit the shortstop. Backhand stab by Bereiser. Thrown to second. Force play for the third out. So good inning for Charlie Paleo. No runs, a hit, a man left. At the end of 5 1/2 innings, Montreal 1 and New York 1.
Are you looking for the best car deal around? Then stop what you're doing and get on over to Yankee Dodge in Schenectady. Yankee Dodge has a large selection of new 1982 Dodge models to choose from. Yankee Dodge service is fast and dependable with the largest selection of Dodge parts in the Northeast. It all goes into making the best car deal you'll ever get. So do it now. Visit Yankee Dodge, 2239 Central Avenue in Schenectady, 1/4 mile east of the Mohawk Mall.
Oh, yeah. We're selling good old American made, the good old American trade. We've got products made by Uncle Sammy, everyone from Happy to Mammy, made on American soil. Yes, sir, at Sunshine Mobile Home, my friend, we're America's good old boy.
Oh, Sunshine Mobile Homes, Route 30, Perth and Mayfield, is proud to announce they're the exclusive dealers for the new Ritz-Craft homes.
A 1-1 tie. Boy, they've been playing them close and tight here at Shea the past couple of ball games. The Mets and the Montreal Expos, bottom of the 6th. And again, here's Bob.
Dave Kingman will bat against Ray Burris in the bottom half of the 6th. David 0 for 2 has been struck out and fouled out. David had problems in the early going in last night's ball game. He struck out his first 2 times up. But his third time at bat of the sixth inning, he nailed Bill Gullickson for a single. Dave Kingman, Ellis Valentine, and John Stearns bat against Burris in the last half of the sixth inning. Final game of the series is 1:35. Hope you're planning to be here. If you can't be on hand, we'll be with you at 1:15 with a pregame show on radio, then 1:25 with our game coverage. Kingman standing in. The Expos will not use the shift. That's high inside, 1 ball and no strike. About the nearest thing to a conventional defense against Dave Kingman that we have seen. Rodney Scott not too far toward the middle. Changeup hammered foul down the third base line. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dave Kingman. Burris throws an awful lot of breaking balls and a lot of off-speed pitches. Everything he throws, he wants to be moving. The 1-1 delivery, swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kingman. Although Dave has 9 RBIs and 2 homers, he has not really got into a good groove yet. Now the pitch on the way. In the dirt, a breaking pitch, 2-2. Dave has been striking out a little more than 1 per game, and he had been cutting down on that in past years. Pitching 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Second time that Burris has fanned Kingman. It is the 6th strikeout of the game for Ray Burris. His assortment of breaking pitches and slow pitches have been baffling. He allowed no runs and only 3 hits in 8 innings to the Phillies in his first start this year. 1 out and nobody on. Ellis Valentine is 0 for 2. And a fastball to the outside corner for a strike. He wanted to get that quick strike, and he did. He has not thrown too many of those fastballs. Swing and a miss. And a 2-strike count to Valentine. Valentine is fouled out to the right fielder, Warren Cromartie, and he hit a comebacker to Ray Burris. 2-strike delivery. And a well-hit drive toward right field, hustling over, though, Cromartie, and he gathers it in for the out. Cromartie with plenty of time to angle on the ball, go to right center, and grab it for the out. 2 outs, nobody on. Now John Stearns will bat. John has one of the 5 New York base hits. After flying to left in the second, he singled to left in the 4th inning. 1-1. We're in the last of the 6th inning. Off-speed pitch outside and low, ball 1. If the Cardinals win today, and they are playing at home, it'll be 7 straight. Bunted down the third base line. They'll never get him. Mills will pick it up. No throw. Stearns has bunted his way on. John Stearns with another bunt single. Oh, he really caught Brad Mills, the third baseman, absolutely flat-footed. Well, believe Steve, that's about his 3rd bunt single.
Exactly right. He got one in Chicago. He got one last night. And now bunt single this afternoon.
You don't normally think of a catcher as bunting his way on, but Stearns does not run like your average catcher. Hubie Brooks has lined hard to second and flied to left. Nothing for 2. There goes Stearns. The pitch is on the corner. The throw to second. He's going to be out. And Stearns is nailed, trying to steal. A perfect throw from Gary Carter to Rodney Scott. So Stearns trying hard to get into scoring position, but Gary Carter has thrown him out. No runs, a bunt single, and nobody left. At the end of 6, the score, the Expos won and the Mets won. Well, the Mets yearbook is all new in 1982. It starts off with a cover featuring the Mets' 2 Georges, Bamberger and Foster. In this year's book, you'll find a unique 16-page insert titled 20 Amazing Years. It is such a nostalgia trip to thumb through those pages. This insert of memories includes over 100 priceless photos that trace the Mets' past 2 decades. In all, the yearbook has 64 color-filled pages for you. To get your Mets yearbook by mail, just send $4.25. That includes postage and handling to Mets Yearbook, Box 1982, Union City, New Jersey. The zip code is 07087. 07087. Two days ago, the Mets and Phillies battled 13 innings. Philadelphia finally won it. Last night, the first night game of the new season at Shea, it was a thriller. Montreal winning by 1 run on Al Oliver's home run. That came in the 9th inning. It was 4-3. And now here we are today, locked 1-1 and going into the 7th inning. We mentioned earlier, Montreal has played 6 games. This is number 7. 4 of their first 6 have been decided by 1 run. Steve Lamar, they've got the kind of pitching, they'll play a lot of low-scoring ball games.
That pitching will keep them in practically every ball game. Speaking of pitching, Ray Burris, the Montreal hurler, will lead off in the top of the 7th inning against Charlie Palaio. Had been getting rather dark here at Shea Stadium, but the sun, as we begin the top of the 7th inning, makes an appearance. Burris had a base hit in the 3rd inning and popped up in the 5th as he popped out to shortstop Tom Verizon in inning number 5. Palaio with the first pitch, a fastball right in there, strike 1 call.
Montreal has 2 of the great dressers in baseball in Ray Burris and Al Oliver.
And the pitch fouled away by Burris. 0-2 is the count.
When they pick out the thread, Steve, you can bet they're the very latest. They're good-looking guys, and boy, do they look good with them on.
Burris stepped out, took a couple of swings, and moves back in there. The 0-2 pitch by Palaio, a breaking ball away. Burris really looked it over, 1-2. The Expos, 7 base hits today. The Mets have 6. A 1-1 ball game in the 7th inning. And Palaio throws, and he struck him out. Swinging strike 3. Burris becomes the first Expo to fan today. 1 away in the 7th. And the hitter will be Tim Raines.
Ed Lynch and Jesse Orozco are loosening now in the Mets bullpen.
Tim Raines 0 for 2 today, 2 for 6 in the series. Had a double and a triple last night. And the pitch driven into right center field, and that'll be a base hit. Mookie cuts it off in right center, and Raines stops with a single. So the Expos have their speed merchant on the bases, Tim Raines. A solid single into right center. And the hitter is Rodney Scott. Scott has had a 1 for 3 day today.
Don Stearns wants to speak with Charlie Palaio now about keeping Raines as close to first base as he possibly can to give him a chance to throw him out.
Stearns did throw on Raines back in the 1st inning after Tim drew a walk. Raines moving off to his lead. Scott into the batter's box, and Raines draws the throw. He's back standing up. Gibby Brooks playing in front of the bag at 3rd base. Again, Palaio goes to first. Raines had a short lead and got back.
Always interesting in this situation to keep your eye on the first base umpire, Paul Runge today, to watch the way he just stares at the pitcher to look for that balk move.
Now the lead by Raines. And there he goes. The pitch to Scott. Strike call. Throw to second is not in time. Raines got in under the tag by Bob Baylor. Stolen base for Raines, his 2nd of the year in 3 attempts. So the Expos have the lead run now at 2nd base. Raines has called timeout to dust himself off out at 2nd base. Raines just outran that throw by Stearns. The count is 0-1 to Rodney Scott. Scott has grounded out, lined out, and singled today. Expos have left 7 men on base this afternoon. A 1-1 ball game in the 7th. Palaio at the belt. And Baylor coming in behind Raines. A pickoff throw not in time. A throw high, and Raines back to the bag with a head-first dive. Baylor playing at 2nd base today for the Mets, and Tom Verizon at shortstop. Raines has the lead. Verizon bluffs this time behind him. The pitch to Scott, a breaking ball lowered inside, and it's 1-1. On deck is Andre Dawson. The Mets scored in the bottom of the first inning. The Expos tied it with a run in the top of the fourth. It is 1-1. Raines leads at second in the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, out behind second base. Verizon makes the play, throws to first, and Kingman cannot come up with it. Raines goes to third. Scott safe at first base. I did not hear the scoring on that.
I believe they're going to charge an error to Dave Kingman for not handling the throw.
It is an error on Kingman. Verizon had to go behind the bag at second base on that high chopper hit by Scott. Raines was going to go to third anyway. Verizon got the throw over to Kingman in time, but David couldn't handle it. So runners at first and third. And Andre Dawson is coming up with one away.
Nail-biting time now for the New York Mets.
Tough situation in the seventh inning. Runners at the corners and one out. And a tough hitter up there in Andre Dawson, who has had only one base hit and 6 at-bats in the series. 0 for 3 today. Outfield is straight away for Dawson. Palaio's pitch. That is low for a ball. The Expos have won 3 of their first 4 road games and 4 of their first 6 games overall. And they have a serious threat here in the 7th inning in a tie ball game today. The runner at first, Scott, goes, and Dawson fouls one on the ground past Billy DeMars, the third base coach. So Scott will turn around and come back to first. The count 1-1 to Andre Dawson, who took it still at home plate after fouling that one away. Dawson now up and walking around, and plate umpire Jerry Dale will dust off the plate. Burris struck out here in the 7th, but Raines singled, stole second, and Scott reached on an error by Kingman. Scott is at first, Tim Raines at third, and one out. A lot of speed on the bases right now. The count 1-1 to Andre Dawson. Palaio will go to first base. The throw is in the dirt, but it's scooped up by Kingman. Scott got back without having to slide. Palaio in a real jam in the 7th inning. Craig Swan was the Mets starter today. He pitched 5, gave up a run on 6 hits. Palaio at the belt. Scott goes. The pitch grounded toward Brooks at third. He has one play. That's over to first. It is in time for the out. Raines held to third. Scott goes to second base. 2 outs. Runners at second and third, and Al Oliver coming up. They have a place to put Oliver if they want to. First base is open.
They stayed out of the double play by sending Rodney Scott. And a beautiful play by Hubie Brooks. He took his time. He held Raines at third. And then when he fired it across the diamond, he put all he could get on it. I thought sure that Raines would break for the plate when he threw that ball across the diamond.
I expected to see that too, but Raines held on. Stearns now goes to the mound to talk things over with Palaio. Al Oliver, a dangerous left-handed hitter coming up. First base is open. 2 out.
And Gary Carter on deck.
Carter on deck. Oliver 0 for 3 his last time up. He smoked one into right field deep, but Valentine pulled it down on the warning track.
What a tough choice. Oliver or Carter.
They'll pitch to Oliver. Here's the stretch by Palaio and the pitch. High and away for a ball. 1-0 to Al Oliver. Oliver, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and now with the count 1-0, they'll put him on. So Oliver will receive the intentional walk. That will load the bases and bring up the right-handed hitting Gary Carter against right-hander Charlie Palaio.
For Charlie Palaio, he is coming up now to that so-called moment of truth.
Ball 3 wide, and now there's the 4th one outside. The number 0, Al Oliver, receives the intentional walk, and they are loaded. And we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Music for your memories. This is Lot 97, WMVQ Amsterdam.
An infield hit. He has doubled and he has slid to center. We go out onto the infield grass in front of home plate and pick up a hot dog wrapper, which is blown out onto the field before batting here with 2 down and the sacks loaded against Charlie Palaio. Carter, dangerous hitter. A 1-1 ball game, top of the 7th. 2 away and the bases loaded. Palaio will work out of the stretch. The pitch, strike called, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike to Gary Carter. Heck of a time to mention this with the bases loaded, but of the last 6 Grand Slam home runs hit by Expos, Carter has hit 4 of them. The stretch by Palaio, and the 0-1 pitch missed blowing away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Al Oliver is at first base. Rodney Scott at second. Tim Raines at third with 2 outs. Palaio has the sign. He is set and delivers. Breaking ball grounded to Baylor at second base. He'll throw to first. The inning's over. Palaio bearing down, got out of trouble in the 7th. No runs, 1 base hit, 1 error in the inning, and 3 men left on base. The Expos have now stranded 10. We're in the middle of the 7th with a score. The Mets won, the Expos won. Team calendar weekend concludes at Shea Stadium tomorrow. Final game of the series, the Expos and the Mets with Randy Jones slated to go against Charlie Lee. So come on out to Shea tomorrow, and you'll be given a Mets team wall calendar.
Every now and then you hear a roar from this crowd. With the new Diamond Vision scoreboard, a lot of fans who have been coming to these early games are wearing either Ranger shirts or Islander shirts. Well, they'll put up somebody who's wearing an Islander shirt, you'll get a reaction. And the same will happen when they punch up a shot of somebody in a Ranger shirt. Crowd really enjoying this Diamond Vision board. They have a saying here. Take off of the old candid camera thing. How that saying goes? Look out, you're on candid camera.
Well, you're on
Oh, smile. That's a smile. So now smile, you may be on Diamond Vision when you come to Shea Stadium.
Lower third of the batting order for the Mets in the 7th. Brooks, Verizon, and then the pitcher's spot. Ray Burris throws to Hubie Brooks inside. Hubie has lined to second and fly to left. 0 for 2 today. 1 for 6 against Montreal pitching since last night. The 1-0 pitch. Driven down the line in left field. That'll be a base hit. A base hit for Brooks, who will stop at first base, but the ball caught by Raines now in left field. And Hubie goes to second and holds on. There'll be a single and an error on Raines. Hubie at second base to start things in the bottom of the 7th inning. Am I reading that correctly? No error on the play?
No, I think it's 1-1.
1-1. There it is. Now the error flash.
Interesting now as to whether Verizon will try to bunt him over to third or not.
Mills is up shallow at third. Same story for Oliver at first. The first delivery to Verizon is a breaking ball low, ball 1. Tom out of the box to read the sign from third base coach Frank Howard.
Ed Lynch is throwing in the bullpen. We may see Rusty in a moment.
We may indeed. Expos look for the bunt. Verizon squares in the pitch, low, ball 2. Brooks at second. He singled, and Raines committed an error, allowing the ball to get through him. He'll be at second base. The count 2-0 to Verizon. The pitcher's spot scheduled next. Verizon waiting. He squares the pitch, taken for a strike. Fastball from Burris. 2 balls, 1 strike. Al Oliver, very shallow at third base, on the grass. Brad Mills at third, also on the grass, but not as shallow as Oliver is at first. The lead at second by Brooks, and now Burris steps off and bluffs the throw to second as Fire came in behind Hubie.
Steve for Montreal. Woody Fryman is up now, and also the young right-hander Bob James.
Gilby has the lead. Spire bluffs in behind him. The pitch. Verizon squares and bunts it. Third base side. Burris will go to third, and the throw is there in time. Brad Mills anchored at third and took the throw from Burris. So the sacrifice is not successful. Verizon on at first. Fielder's choice, of course, no sacrifice bunt for Verizon. And here comes Rusty out of the dugout, and he's going to bat for Charlie Puleo. Staub, 1 for 4, all as a pinch batter this year with an RBI. He's 47th on the all-time hit list with 2,599 hits. Verizon with the lead. The pitch to Staub way inside and in the dirt, ball 1. Carter made a nice play to go out and get that one and keep it from coming back to the backstop. Rusty Staub batting for Charlie Puleo, who pitched 2 innings in relief, gave up no runs on 2 hits, and got out of a big bases-loaded jam in the top of the 7th. Burris at the belt. The pitch. Staub takes the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Burris has been in there all the way for the Expos and has pitched a fine game. He's not allowed the Mets to score since the bottom of the 1st. He's at the belt. The pitch. Staub hits a drive deep to right field. Down the line. It is off the base to the wall. The riser goes for third. Rusty holds on with a long single.
Rusty Staub will want to keep this baseball. Eric Gregg getting the ball. Buddy Harrelson comes on the field to pick it up for Rusty because it is quite a plateau. 2,600 base hits.
That went off the base of the wall, just to the left of the 338 sign down the line in right field. So Verizon at third, Rusty Staub at first base, and Mookie Wilson coming to the plate. Now Jim Fanning making his way out of the dugout and toward the mound. James and Fryman throwing in the Montreal bullpen.
He has the old tobacco farmer from Ewing, Kentucky, Woody Fryman. He's going to bring him in. Fryman and Reardon are the bullpen aces for Montreal. Bob James is a newcomer, a talented newcomer. But the 2 men that Jim Fanning wants in the tough spot, if this is one of those, would be either Jeff Reardon, who was the winning pitcher last night, or Woody Fryman. And now Woody Fryman is going to be brought into the ball game. So while we have the break in the action and we wait for Woody Fryman to leave the bullpen, he is still throwing out there. Right now they're trying to get Woody's attention. They finally have it. And he makes his way toward the baseball buggy, which will give him a ride into the ball game. They had a rain delay that lasted just under an hour in Pittsburgh, and now the weather has broken, and they have the game underway. The Cubs lead Pittsburgh 1-0 after 1 inning. Dickie Knowles pitching for Chicago. Ross Baumgarten is going for the Pirates. St. Louis scored 2 in the first and 3 in the second off Steve Carlton. Carlton is out of the game now. They're in the 7th inning. St. Louis leading Philadelphia 5-0. Joaquin Andujar pitching for the Redbirds. Cardinals are trying to win their 7th straight ball game. Tonight, the Atlanta Braves will be in the Astrodome trying to make it 10 straight. If they win tonight, they tie the National League record for consecutive wins at the start of the campaign. So Joe Torre's ball club is riding high. Tonight it'll be Bob Walk going against Joe Negro. The 55 Dodgers. An exciting ball club, won 10 straight at the start of the year, and so did the 62 Pirates. The Dodgers play tonight in San Diego. That'll be Dave Goltz against the Count, John Montefusco. The Reds, a struggling ball club right now, will be at San Francisco. Now we are set to resume. Well, they decided not to make the change. They're going to let Ray Burris hang in there after all, Steve.
Burris is still in there. Runners at first and third, and Burris will pitch to Mookie Wilson. The first pitch swung on and missed. Strike 1.
Boy, that was a strange one. They called Woody Fryman. He left the warm-up mound of the bullpen. He actually got in the baseball buggy.
And then he went back. Runners at first and third. One out. Seventh inning tie ball game. The pitch to Mookie. High for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mookie has singled, he has doubled, and he has struck out.
Ray Burris must have convinced Jim Fanning that he was equal to it.
Mills at third is drawn up tight. Throws fire at short. Got about halfway at second base. The pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mookie.
Fanning definitely changed his mind. The manager's entitled to do that. As he walked from the dugout to the mound, he gave the signal to the bullpen by tapping his left arm. That meant that he wanted the left-hander, Woody Fryman.
Right. Fryman was informed that he was in the ball game, apparently. He was in the warm-up and the buggy to bring him in. The pitch lined out into right field. So Marty going back will make the catch. But the tag at third by Marizer, and he comes in to score. Sacrifice fly, and the Mets lead 2-1. Mookie drilled it into right field. So Marty able to make the catch, but he had no chance at all to throw out Marizer, who tagged and scored easily from third. Now we'll get a runner as Wally Packman goes in to run for Rusty Staub.
And with the Mets leading 2-1, a switch in the bullpen, and Neil Allen starts getting ready.
The Mets taking a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Packman running for Staub at first base, 2 away. The batter is Bob Baylor, 2 for 3 today, and the first pitch is in the dirt outside, ball 1. Baylor singled to center to drive in a run in the first inning and stole second, grounded out to second base in the third, and he had a bunt single in the fifth. Packman has the lead at first base, and he bluffs and does not go. The 1-0 pitch is high, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 to Bob Baylor. St. Louis leading Philadelphia after 7, 6-0. Burris. The 2-0 pitch with the runner going fouled away into the seats off to the right. And it's now 2-1 to Baylor. Bob Baylor has played for Baltimore, Toronto, and the Mets. He had 284 last year and 81 at-bats for New York. He hit .358 against right-handers. Burris, a right-hander, the count 2-1, and Backman draws the throw at first base. He's back on all fours. Mets leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Baylor batting. Foster on deck. Backman has the lead at first. And the pitch. Ground ball towards Scott at second base. He gloves it, flips his fire in time for the force at second on Backman. And the side is retired, but the Mets take the lead with a run, 2 base hits, 1 error in the inning, and there was 1 man left on base. At the end of 7, New York 2, Montreal 1.
Compare the taste of Michelob Light. Compare the taste of any beer you like. It's Michelob Light, when you're a winner, it's got to be Michelob Light. Michelob Light, compare the taste to any beer you like.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Frankfurt has really got some fantastic ingredients.
I was quite surprised to see what good meat that they put into it.
Shoppers at this store were really surprised to see what goes into Kahn's Beef Franks.
Well, if this is what they make them out of, I would say they make them out of very good stuff. The meat looks excellent.
I'd eat the beef separately, so I sure as heck would eat them in the Frankfurter.
Only first quality cuts of beef. No fillers ever in Kahn's.
I would recommend the Kahn.
Great meat makes great beef franks. Depend on Kahn.
2-1 Mets as we go to the 8th inning, and Charlie Palaio leaves the ball game, and Ed Lynch is on for the Mets. Lynch hit in yesterday's ball game, last night's game, the loss to Montreal. He worked an inning, gave up no runs on 1 base hit, was not involved in the decision. Charlie Palaio worked 2 innings and gave up no runs on 2 hits. He walked 1. It was intentional, and he struck out 1. Vallejo really got out of a jam in the 7th inning with the bases loaded. Lynch has pitched 9 innings this year, and the first delivery to Warren Cromartie, strike called. It's 0-1. Lynch has given up 2 runs on 7 hits in 9 innings. No wins, no losses. Cromartie runs up, tries to bunt, but doesn't get it. It's a strike, and it's 0-2. Cromartie is singled, fly deep to right, and grounded to second. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Baylor to his right makes the play, and the second baseman throws out Cromartie. 1 away. So Lynch gets Cromartie on a ground ball, and Brad Mills will be the batter. Chris Spire's spot scheduled next, and then the pitcher, Ray Barris. Brad Mills has had a couple of base hits today in 3 at-bats and a run batted in. He had not played in the ball game until this afternoon. Tim Wallach played at third base last night for Montreal. Brad Mills at third today. And the pitch to Brad, low and outside, ball 1. Lynch working in a hurry, the 1-0 pitch. Strike called, and it's 1-1. Brad Mills out of Visalia, California. 25-year-old left-handed hitting third baseman. Pitch swung on and hit in the air to left center. Foster drifting over along with Brooks. It's George making the catch for the out. 2 away. So with the bases empty and 2 outs, Chris Spire is scheduled to hit, but we have not seen Chris yet. And we're going to get a pinch batter for Spire. Looks like Wallace Johnson. It will be Johnson who will bat for Spire. Johnson is a switch hitter. Will bat left-handed against Eddie Lynch. Johnson has gone 6 for 20 this year. He's hitting 300. Left-handed, he's hitting 400. He has no home runs and 1 RBI. He has won the second base job on the strength of his batting this year over Rodney Scott, although Scott got the start at second base today. Johnson started last night's ball game. He went 0 for 3 and knocked in a run. So Wallace Johnson batting for Spire here in the 8th inning with the bases empty and 2 down. Johnson just stepping in now. And the pitch by Lynch. Well, Johnson bluffed the bunt, took a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Neil Allen and Jesse Orozco working in the right field bullpen for New York. Pitcher spot scheduled next. Johnson batting here for the number 8 man in the order, shortstop Chris Spire.
Jerry White is around the bat rack. He's the top pinch hitter for Montreal. He'll come up if Wally gets on.
And the pitch. Check swing foul. Ground ball back into the Montreal dugout. And they scattered back there in a hurry. So Lynch is ahead of Wallace Johnson, 0-2. Boy, Johnson really progressed last year. Started the year at Double-A, went to Triple-A, and wound up in the Major League. Pitch to him, fouled away. Third base side, and it's out of play. So it's still 0-2 to pinch batter Wallace Johnson. Gilby Brooks backed up at third and guarding the line. Pitch to the left-handed batting Johnson, low, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Wallace Johnson. 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch, low again. 3-2. Lynch looking down at the ball. Now he's reading catcher John Stearns. Winds and delivers. Popped up foul off third base, but that'll be out of play. Gilby went to the railing, but it's up several rows in the box seat. The Mets scored first today, got a run in the bottom of the first. The Expos scored in the fourth to tie it. And the Mets came back with a run in the bottom of the seventh. Knocked in on a sacrifice fly by Mookie Wilson. Mets leading 2-1 in the top of the eighth. Lynch with the pitch. Fouled away on the third base side again. So Wallace Johnson hanging in there. Johnson is one of 4 rookies who made the Expos roster in spring training this year. The others, Brad Mills, who started at third base today, outfielder Terry Francona, and pitcher Bob James. The pitch to Johnson. This one is popped up, and it may be playable down the third base line, and it's still in fair territory. Foster coming over and makes the catch right near the line. And that retires the side. In the eighth, Lynch retires the Expos 1-2-3. We're in the middle of the eighth inning. The score is the Mets 2 and Montreal 1.
If you haven't heard the good news yet, Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth wants you to know. Now, from Chrysler Corporation, get a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty on powertrains, 5-year, 50,000-mile scheduled maintenance, and 5-year, 50,000-mile rust-out protection on outer body panels. Now, there's even more good reasons to buy a Chrysler Corporation product. Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth can supply you with all the details. That's Schenectady Chrysler Plymouth, 1016 State Street. This offer does not apply to imports or trucks.
Love 97 gives you the chance to win Pac-Man from Coleco or Midway's Galaxian from Coleco. How? It's really easy. Just send in a postcard with your name and address, and guess what score I'm going to get when I play Pac-Man on the air on May 1st. Plus, listen for the qualifying word each week and write that down. Enter as many times as you like. Remember, name, address, score, and qualifying word. All to Love 97, 279 West Main Street, Amsterdam, New York, 12010. Be one of the many winners that we're going to have of Midway's Pac-Man or Galaxian from Coleco and Love 97.
For Montreal, replacing Chris Fire, who left the ball game for pinch hitter Wallace Johnson in the top of the eighth. And Ray Burris, still in the ball game for the Expos, will pitch here in the bottom of inning number 8 to the heart of the New York lineup, Foster, Kingman, and Valentine. Burris continuing to warm up. This game concludes tomorrow afternoon. The series concludes tomorrow afternoon. The Mets and the Expos here at Shea. Game time tomorrow will be 1:35 as Randy Jones pitches against Charlie Lee. And then the Chicago Cubs come to town for night games Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. And remember, those games will begin at 7:35 Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Mike Scott will open the series against the Cubs Tuesday night. Mike turned in a complete game victory his last outing against the Phillies.
George Foster up there. The pitch by Burris. Breaking ball cued off the end of the bat on the ground to second base. Scott picks it up, throws to first in time. Foster is out. Hit that one off the end of the bat and grounded out to Rodney Scott at second base. The Expos infield now with Mills at third, Tavares at short, Scott at second, Oliver at first. Raines is in the outfield in left, Dawson in center, Cromartie in right. Carter catching, and Burris still doing the pitching for the Expos. Dave Kingman, the batter. First pitch is grounded foul outside of third. One strike to Kingman, who has struck out twice today against Burris, and is fouled out to the catcher, Gary Carter. The 0-1 pitch by Ray Burris. High for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kingman with 8 base hits, driving in 9 runs this year. The pitch low, 2-1. The attendance today, the paid crowd, 16,529. Burris back to Kingman, and a breaking ball grounded to third. Brad Mills makes the play. Here's the throw, high, and it pulls Oliver off the bag. Kingman is safe. Throwing error on third baseman Brad Mills. The throw pulled Al Oliver off the bag, and Kingman got to the bag before Oliver could get back. Ellis Valentine, looking for his first hit of the day, is up there. He has fouled out to the right fielder, lined to right, and grounded back to Burris. Valentine has had a base hit in 4 of his 5 games coming into this one. Right-handed hitter, Kingman leads at first. Bluff doesn't go, and there's a ground ball punched up the middle, past Tavares and into center field. Kingman around second, goes to third as Dawson overruns the ball in center, and Valentine goes to second.
Strange game for Montreal, Steve. They now have committed 4 errors in the game. One of the best fielding teams in baseball.
Dawson came in and let that ball slip under his glove out in center field and roll behind him. Kingman was going to go to third anyway, but then an error allowed Valentine to go to second.
Valentine was very alert. The moment that ball was overrun, he was on his way to second.
So the infield comes in with John Stearns up there, and they're going to walk him intentionally. Burris will put Stearns on. That'll load the bases with 1 out, and will bring up Hubie Brooks. This will be only the second walk of the day for Burris, and here comes Fanning.
This time, as Jim Fanning comes out, he is not signaling the bullpen, as he did the last time he came out when he signaled for Woody Frampton. Then after talking with Ray Burris, he changed and left Burris in the ball game, and Ray got out of it, although the Mets did scratch out the run to go ahead.
A conference on the mound now involving Fanning, the manager, pitcher Ray Burris, catcher Gary Carter, also shortstop Frank Tavares, and second baseman Rodney Scott. The bases are loaded for the Mets with 1 out. New York leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th, and trying to get more was Hubie Brooks. Comes to the plate. Fanning stays with Burris, and the manager from Montreal goes back to the dugout. And Brooks coming to the plate. Let's see how they play their infield.
Jim Fanning showing how much faith he has in Ray Burris as a man who can face up to a tough situation.
Tavares, the shortstop, and Scott, the second baseman, are about halfway. Mills at third. Step in front of the bag, and Oliver at first base is at the edge of the grass. Brooks up there. Bases loaded, 1 out. The pitch to Hubie in the dirt outside, blocked by Carter. Nice play by Gary. Ball 1. Plate umpire Jerry Dale looks over that baseball and throws it out of play. Hubie Brooks, 1 for 3 today, 2 for 7 in the series. Came into the game hitting .207. 1 ball, no strikes. Bases loaded, 1 out. Burris is set, and the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Big swing by Hubie. 1 ball and 1 strike. Burris now turns his back on the plate, looks out towards center field. Now tugs on the bill of the cap. Turns around and looks in for the sign from Gary Carter. The right-hander is set. The pitch to Hubie. Whacked down the line in right field. It is a foul ball. Just foul and out into the corner. While Hubie comes back to the plate, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
The music hardly ever stops on Love 97, WMVQ Amsterdam.
Well, that one figured to be an extra base hit if it had stayed fair, but it did not.
That's why they call it a game of inches.
They do indeed, and they're right. Kingman is third, Valentine is second, Stearns at first, 1 out, a 1-2 count to Hubie Brooks. The Mets leading by a run in the 8th, trying to get more. The pitch by Burris. Fouled back by Hubie. It's still 1-2. The on-deck hitter is Tom Verizor. The wind at Shea beginning to sweep some of the infield dirt around. Hubie was out of the box. Now he's all set as Burris reads Carter, has the sign, and comes to the belt. The pitch to Hubie. Low for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's been another good one at Shea. Mets leading 2-1 in the eighth. New York has out-hit Montreal today, 9-8, and the Expos have committed 4 errors. The 2-2 pitch by Burris. Hubie pops it up foul and out of play off first base. Still 2-2. The Expos won last night's ball game 4-3 on Al Oliver's ninth inning home run. Mets leading today 2-1. 1 out, bases loaded in the eighth. They count 2-2 to Hubie Brooks. Here's the pitch by Burris. Swing and a miss. He got him on strike.
Oh, what a big one for Ray Burris. That justified the faith that Jim Fanning has in this veteran right-hander. And he has to be arm weary. He has to be tired at this point in the game. And now Tom Verizor, I believe, is being called back to the dugout by George Bamberger. Gary Racich coming out, Steve.
So Racich will bat for Verizor with the bases loaded. Verizor went 0 for 3 today, but scored a run. And Racich coming up now with the bases loaded and 2 away. Racich hitting 143. He's had 1 out of 7. The one hit for Racich was a double. He has no RBIs. The infield, of course, backed up now with 2 away. Pitch to Racich, inside, ball 1. Gary Racich batting against Ray Burris with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the eighth. The windup by the right-hander, the pitch to Racich. And that one is low for a ball, 2-0.
Oh, Ray Burris, hands on his hips, backing off the mound. He thought he had a strike.
He wanted to know where that one was. From plate umpire Jerry Dale. 2-0 to count to Racich. Left-handed hitter out of Phoenix, Arizona. 27 years old. The 2-0 pitch by Burris. Swing and it's ripped to Oliver for the out. Racich hit it hard, but right at the first baseman, Al Oliver, and the side is retired. In the inning, no run, 1 base hit. There were 2 Montreal errors in the inning, and 3 men left on. So at the end of 8, the score, the Mets 2 and Montreal 1.
The MVPs are here. Maximum Value Package Datsun Truck. There's a special edition King Cab 4x4 MVP with a package of valuable extras that can save you a bundle. A whopping $600 off suggested sticker price on popular options worth over $1,200, excluding taxes at participating dealers. Imagine $600 off on a light bar, grill guard, tubular bumper, fender flares, sporty striping, stereo, jump seats, and more. And all these valuable options are wrapped around the roomy, rugged King Cab 4x4 with the highest minimum ground clearance in its class. Look for similar discounts on Little Hustler and Diesel MVP. But get down to your Datsun dealer now. With $600 off, these limited editions will move fast.
From one top customer to another, we are driven. With the Chicago Cubs, for Tuesday night and Wednesday night.
We're going to the 9th inning. Ed Lynch trying to get the final 3 outs in the ball game to give the Mets the victory, and to tell you about it, here's Bob.
Jerry White, the pinch hitting specialist, the switch hitter, will be leading off. He will be batting for Ray Burris. Then it will be the top of the order for Tim Raines and Rodney Scott. Ron Gardenhire is now playing short for New York. We go to the 9th inning with the Mets leading by a score of 2-1. Outstanding pitching performance turned in by Ray Burris. In 8 innings, he allowed 2 runs, scattered 9 hits, walked 2. One of the 2 was intentional, and he struck out 7. He got a lucky break, though, on the ball hit by Gary Racich. Racich hit it as hard as you can. Screaming line drive, but right into the glove of Al Oliver. So fasten your seatbelts. Here we go, 9th inning. It's a nail biter. The score 2-1 New York, and Jerry White who has 2 for 4, is batting .500 of the season, will be hitting for Ray Burris. Jerry White, a Major League lifetime .261 hitter. White will be hitting left-handed against Ed Lynch. Neil Allen is up in the bullpen. And a strike call to the outside corner of the knees. Ed Lynch with a chance to earn a save if he can stop the Expos. And a foul ball pulled into the New York Mets dugout. Lynch with a 2-strike count on Jerry White. The always dangerous Tim Raines waiting on deck, then Rodney Scott. If you go beyond that, it's Andre Dawson and Al Oliver. Nobody on, nobody out. 9th inning, the Mets 2 and the Expos 1. The tall right-hander delivers. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Ed Lynch has fanned the pinch hitter, Jerry White. 1 away in the 9th inning. Now the leadoff batter, Tim Raines, will come up. He has 1 for 3 and a walk. He has stolen a base, and he has been caught stealing. 1 for 2 in that area. Raines, as a switch hitter, will bat left-handed against Ed Lynch. Lynch in relief has now retired 4 in a row. Ed also worked in last night's ball game, pitching a scoreless inning. Now Lynch will use the full windup. Here's the pitch on the way. A little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes to Tim Raines. Raines, the speedster. Let's play him as a pull hitter in the outfield. Drag bunt. It'll be hard to get him. Kingman will throw the ball. No, they can't get him. Base hit for Tim Raines. A drag bunt. Kingman cut over and fielded the bunt, but of course, Lynch had no chance at all to get to the bag before Tim Raines. And so that is a base hit. Perfect execution on a drag bunt. He ran up. He was almost in full flight when he bunted the ball. So Raines putting his speed to work, and the tying run is on in the form of a bunt single, and now keep your eye on Tim Raines. Here's the young man who stole 71 bases last year in a very short span of time. Will he be trying to steal? Chances are great that he will. Rodney Scott's the batter. Rodney batting left-handed, 1 for 4. And the pitch inside, ball 1. Ed Lynch, 1 ball and no strikes to Rodney Scott. In the first inning of the game today, Stearns threw out Tim Raines, something that rarely happens. But in the 7th inning, Raines was successful. The Mets 2 and the Expos 1. He has his lead. He's holding. And a strike call. 1 ball and 1 strike. Neil Allen throwing seriously in the Mets bullpen. Key right here for Ed Lynch is not to lose his concentration on the batter, Rodney Scott. It's easy to do when somebody like Tim Raines is on first. Now the stretch. And a squib foul off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3rd pitch in a row that Tim Raines was not going. Kingman holding against the runner. And Andre Dawson waits on deck. Rhythmic clapping of the crowd here at Shea, trying to support Ed Lynch in his bid to retire Rodney Scott. Here's the stretch by Lynch. And the pitch on the way, and a foul ball down the first base line. Ed came after him with a breaking ball, and again Raines was holding up. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes on Rodney Scott. Scott in the game today, a single to right and 4 times at bat. That's trying to nurse a 1-run lead here in the 9th inning. Gardenhire, the shortstop, is shaded toward second. And a throw to first. That's the first time that Ed has thrown over. Lynch checking it out with John Stearns, and he throws over again. Easily diving back to the bag, Tim Raines, and now Stearns wants to talk to Ed Lynch. 3rd game in a row that has gone right down to the last moment. Day before yesterday, the Mets and Phillies went 13 innings. Philadelphia won it. Last night in the first night game of the home season, Montreal won it in the 9th inning with a home run by Oliver. They won it 4-3. Raines edging away as Ed Lynch gets his sign now from Stearns. And the pitch on the way, and a ground ball hitting slowly on the second on base side. Fielded by Baylor, thrown to Kingman in time. Raines moves on to second. So Scott is out on a bouncer to second base. The tying run, Raines, goes to second, and Andre Dawson will be coming up. So Ed Lynch has to do it the hard way. He has to get by one of the best hitters in the game, Andre Dawson. Dawson is 0 for 4 this afternoon. He has flied to center, bounced into a force play, reached on an error, and grounded out to third. Steve Lamar will be along with all the scores from the major leagues this afternoon on the Getty scoreboard at the end of the ball game. Now here is Andre Dawson standing in. Mets 2, Expos 1. Tim Raines on second base, 2 men down. Right-hander against right-hander. And the pitch on the way. A slider just outside. He held on the swing, and they say he did not go through with it. 1 ball and no strikes. Andre Dawson, a .300 hitter last season with the Expos. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ed Lynch walking down off the back of the mound, wants to think each pitch out very carefully. Jesse Orozco and Neil Allen are both up in the bullpen. Lynch makes the 1-second stop. And the pitch. Missed the outside corner. Hard slider, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Ed Lynch is primarily a sinker-slider pitcher. Tall right-hander who was born in Brooklyn, grew up in Miami. Here's the 2-1 pitch. At a high pop foul, probably out of play. Hubie Brooks coming over to the railing. It disappears into the crowd. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ed Lynch with a count of 2-2 on Andre Dawson. Now the noise level will come up. The clapping begins to provide encouragement for Ed Lynch, trying to get the final out of the afternoon. Mets 2, Expos 1. Raines on second. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Andre Dawson. The crowd is standing. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Ed Lynch struck out Andre Dawson, and the Mets win the ball game. Oh, what a finish. Ed Lynch on 2-2 threw a perfect pitch on the outside corner, and he struck out Andre Dawson, and the New York Mets have won a thriller to even the series with the Montreal Expos. In the 9th inning, no runs, a hit, and a man left on. Talk about men left on. Well, Montreal left 11 and the Mets left 9. 20 men were left on base. We'll be back with a happy recap in just a moment. The final score, the New York Mets 2 and the Montreal Expos 1.
Honda made it simple, and Mohawk Honda in Schenectady will make it easy for you to own a new 82 Honda. You'll get a car price to match your budget, and then Mohawk Honda's computer diagnostics will help you keep your new Honda in top shape. If it's a used car, Mohawk Honda has a supply of pre-owned Hondas from steady customers who like to trade up. So come drive a fuel-efficient Honda soon. The selection has never been better at Mohawk Honda, 756 State Street, Schenectady.
This is Bob Wojcik of Montgomery Big Brothers Big Sisters. We need your help. How many times a year do you hear that plea from an organization? Chances are that you mumble a bit and dig into your pocket, but you do your best to help. Well, we don't want your money. We want something much more precious, a few hours of your time once a week or so. Yes, a few hours of your spare time to help a fatherless boy get the one thing money can't buy, adult male companionship. It won't obligate you to find out the details, and it just might turn out to be the best investment of your life. Your spare time helping a boy grow into a well-adjusted man. Please call us today. The boys are waiting. Thank you.
The early part of the year, and a thrilling win for the New York Mets. They win it by a score of 2-1 on brilliant relief pitching at the end by Ed Lynch. So here's our choice for the Getty MVP of the Game Award. Congratulations and Getty gift certificates to Ed Lynch, who saved the game for the New York Mets. The choice for BVP, Better Vehicle Performance, Getty Gasolines and Motor Oil. Take your cap off to Getty. And for the happy recap, here's Steve Lamar.
Starting pitchers in this game were Craig Swan for the Mets and Ray Burris, who went all the way for the Montreal Expos. The Mets broke the scoring ice as they got a run across in the bottom of the first inning. Mookie Wilson led off with a single. stole second, and when Gary Carter, the Montreal catcher, threw the ball into center field, Mookie went to third, and he scored from third on a base hit into center field by Bob Baylor. It stayed 1-0 until the top of the fourth, when the Expos got a run off Swan. With one out, Carter doubled, and 1 out later scored on a single by rookie third baseman Brad Mills. But the Mets scored in the bottom of the seventh and won the ball game with that run. Gilby Brooks' single went to second on an error by left fielder Tim Raines. Verizon tried to bunt him to third base, but Gilby was forced out at third on the throw from pitcher Ray Burris to third baseman Brad Mills. Pinch batter Rusty Staub singled off the right field wall, sending Verizon to third, and Verizon then scored on a sacrifice fly by Mookie Wilson, the game-winning RBI to Mookie, as he had a sacrifice fly in the seventh. The winning pitcher in relief is Charlie Palaio with a save from Ed Lynch. The loser is Ray Burris. And we'll have more post-game notes for you from Shea Stadium, but first we pause for this message.